Welcome back to a new video, and today I'm going to show you with more detail how I've made the 2022 F1 poster collection. And this time I will do the Lewis Hamilton poster, so let's do it. As you saw in the last video, I used the vintage style for this collection. So in this image I will start to add the grey wall texture background. Since the work is a collection of posters, I started to create a mood board of patterns, rough papers, colors and fonts to get the mood I wanted for the work. And this is key to save work after it, because here we can test how colors will look on the variations we want to make, and by having these elements already prepared is just drag and drop on the piece to create different looks but keep them consistent. Now let's start to place our papers and textures in place. For this one I used the blue from Mercedes as a main color and then add the other cuts in grey colors and try to play with different shapes. This was to make the appearance of different papers pasted on top of each other. Because I've done the previous work of splitting papers and textures, this simplified my work here. When I get satisfied with the look of it, I will add the pictures of Hamilton. I've already cropped and masked the Hamilton pictures, but to quickly show you what I've done to cut some of them, I will move this image here and remove the mask and crop it again. We have many ways to mask the image. I usually use the pen tool, but in some images like this one you can use the object selection tool and Photoshop will do the selection for you, and it's pretty well done. Then you mask it so that you don't lose all the image but only shows the part you want. With all the images in place, I start to colorize them. For the main image I always make a black and white layer for the skin because I thought it will look more a vintage style, and desaturate a little bit the body with hue and saturation layer. For the other images, I turn them into black and white and set the blend modes to darken and opacity to 60%. And of course, we cannot forget the car. I have already cropped it to not let you waste time on the video and set the hue and saturation of -57, more and less, in the saturation. Now it's time to add some text to the poster, so I've headlined the brand name with 3 layers of it, and the top and above one reduced the opacity to 30%. Then at the bottom of the image repeated the same, but with a lower size. I've used the blue Mercedes F1 for this one, and then for Hamilton name I used the bright yellow they used in their communication. Then play it around the poster until I got satisfied. One last image that I had in the poster is that one in the back, and I used the color burn mode with 30% of opacity to add some detail to the background. All of these images from Lewis Hamilton, I got them from Instagram or Twitter. You just need to find on their profiles to check the F1 drivers you want to create the poster for. Then the brushes, the papers, I got from Envato Elements. We're almost done here, and there comes the details that pop up the posters and gives that vintage effect. I added first the particles effect, using some masks to hide the parts I don't want to have particles. And then to add that old colors of paper, I add a color lookup layer with a Fuji Eterna 250D effect and another one with futuristic bleak effect, but this one with 25% of opacity. Now I have here a layer with some dust and I will change it to blend mode to screen 50% of opacity. And then at the end I also like to merge everything and convert to a smart object to add the final adjustments with the camera raw filter. And here we can play the final color adjustments as you want. Usually I add also more texture, and the personal thing I like to use is grain, and since this is a vintage look it makes sense to have it. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the reveal.